Hello students, see, this is specimen of eyeball. Orbit are already dissected and this eyeball is removed from the cadaver. Okay, so in this eyeball, first of all we have to identify side. So for the side determination of eyeball, 2 points are very important. First, that is lacrimal punctum. Okay, so on each medial margin of eyelid, medially we have lacrimal punctum. Okay, so this is our lacrimal punctum. So that determines the medial side of it. And we have another point is lacrimal gland. This is lacrimal gland which is situated superolaterally to the eyeball. So by 2 points towards the medial angle of eye, we have lacrimal punctum, and superolaterally we have this lacrimal gland. We can determine the side. So here you can see this is our lacrimal gland. So this is left sided eyeball. Okay. Now coming to the muscles of eyeball. Okay. So muscles of eyeball, they are actually divided in two groups. First is voluntary or striated muscles, and second is involuntary or smooth muscles. Voluntary or striated muscles, they are actually 7 in number. Okay, among these 7 muscles, 6 muscles for recti and 2 obliques, they move eyeball, and 1 muscle levator palpebrae superioris, that elevate the upper eyelid. Okay, so we have 7 voluntary muscles. Other group of muscles are, they are smooth muscle and they are involuntary in nature. There are 3 in number. First is superior tarsal, inferior tarsal, and third one is orbital. In this specimen, we will discuss voluntary muscles only. As we know, there are 7 in number. One is our levator palpebrae superioris, C. Below the frontal nerve, this is frontal nerve, below it we have levator palpebrae superioris muscle, which move upper eyelid. Okay. Other 6 muscles are for recti and 2 obliques. They move eyeball. First, we will discuss recti muscles. Recti muscles are 4 in number. They are superior rectus, C. This is superior rectus muscle. Below the levator palpebrae superioris, this is superior rectus muscle. Laterally, this is lateral rectus muscle. Medially, this is medial rectus muscle, and inferiorly, this is our inferior rectus muscle. Now, origin and insertion. This all 4 recti have common origin. They takes origin from the common tendinous ring. These muscles are arranged like cone. Okay, so the apex of cone is represented by common tendinous ring. They spread out in front for insertion, and they get inserted into sclera in front of equator behind sclerocorneal junction in spiral manner. Means superior rectus superiorly, lateral rectus laterally, medial rectus medially, and inferior rectus inferiorly. Okay, so we have discussed origin and insertion of 4 recti muscles. Now coming to oblique muscles. Obliques are 2. One is superior oblique and one is inferior oblique muscle. See, this is our frontal nerve and this is our trochlear nerve medial to frontal nerve, which is going to upper margin of superior oblique muscle. So you can see here, this is our superior oblique muscle. Okay. Inferior oblique muscle, that can be identified by turning eyeball inferiorly. So you can see here, this is our inferior oblique muscle. Okay. Now we will discuss origin and insertion of that muscles. First, superior oblique muscle. superior oblique muscle takes origin in the posterior part of orbit. That takes origin from the undersurface of lesser wing of sphenoid, above and medial to common tendinous ring. That muscle runs forward. Okay, so this is our superior oblique which is running forward, and it is converted into rounded tendon at the junction of roof and medial wall of orbit. And this rounded tendon is suspended by fibrocartilaginous pulley. Where it is suspended? It is suspended to trochlea of frontal bone. And this fibrocartilaginous pulley that represent the functional origin of superior oblique muscle. From this pulley, from this rounded tendon, this muscle changes its direction. So you can see here, this muscle is directed backwards, laterally and downwards underneath levator palpebrae superioris and superior rectus muscle. Okay, so after turning backwards, downwards and laterally, finally that muscle get inserted into sclera behind the equator of eyeball in postero-superior compartment. Okay, so we have discussed this superior oblique muscle. Now coming to inferior oblique muscle. See, this is inferior oblique muscle on inferior side. Now we will discuss origin and insertion of it. Origin. It takes origin from the floor of orbit, from the orbital surface of maxilla, just lateral to nasolacrimal notch. This fibers runs backwards and laterally underneath this inferior rectus muscle and turns backwards, laterally and upwards under cover of this lateral rectus muscle. Okay, so after turning backwards, laterally and upwards, finally they get inserted into sclera behind the equator of eyeball in postero-superior compartment, and this insertion of inferior oblique is very close to insertion of superior oblique muscle. Now supply. All voluntary ocular muscles are supplied by third cranial nerve, which is oculomotor nerve, except lateral rectus and superior oblique. This lateral rectus is supplied by sixth cranial nerve, abducent nerve, and superior oblique is supplied by fourth cranial nerve, which is trochlear nerve. Actually, this lateral rectus muscle is having two heads, and there is small gap between two heads which transmit abducent nerve. Okay, you can remember nerve supply of these ocular muscles by one dictum, that is LR6 and SO4. LR stand for lateral rectus, 6 is our abducent nerve or sixth cranial nerve. SO stands for superior oblique, which is supplied by fourth cranial nerve, so SO4. LR6, SO4, remaining 3. So amongst the all ocular voluntary muscles, all are supplied by third cranial nerve, oculomotor nerve, except LR6 and SO4. Okay, these ocular muscles have small motor unit because of precision of movements. Now we will discuss action of muscles. For the action of muscle, we have to remember these things. All recti are adductors except lateral rectus. Means lateral rectus is our abductor. All or we can say both obliques are abductors. Then both superior means superior rectus and superior oblique, they are producing intorsion. Both inferior means inferior rectus and inferior oblique. They are producing extorsion. Okay. Movements of eyeball occur around three axes. First is transverse axis, another is vertical axis, and third one is anteroposterior axis. Around transverse axis, we have elevation and depression. Around vertical axis, we have adduction and abduction. And around the anteroposterior axis, we have intorsion and extorsion. What is intorsion? See, this is cornea. When 12 o'clock position of cornea rotates medially, that is intorsion, and when 12 o'clock position of cornea moves laterally, that is extorsion. Okay. If we discuss movements of individual muscle, then first remember one thing. Here we are discussing movements of all muscles in primary position of eyeball only. In primary position, our medial rectus muscle is producing only adduction, and lateral rectus muscle produce only abduction. Now recti muscle, this is our superior rectus muscle. Superior rectus muscle produce adduction, this is adduction, elevation and intorsion. Inferior rectus muscle, okay, so inferior rectus muscle produce depression, then adduction and extorsion. Superior oblique muscle produce abduction, depression and intorsion. Action of inferior oblique muscle. See, this is our inferior oblique, which produce elevation, abduction and extorsion. We have discussed all movements in left-sided eyeball. Here we have specimen of right-sided eyeball also. See, this is right-sided eyeball. You can see this is our lacrimal gland towards the laterally and lacrimal punctum towards medially. Okay. This is inferior oblique and this is origin of inferior oblique. Fibers runs backwards and laterally underneath this inferior rectus muscle. They turns upwards, backwards and laterally underneath this lateral rectus muscle. And we know finally it get inserted into sclera behind the equator in posterior-superior compartment. Here you can clearly see its insertion. Okay. So see, backwards laterally, backwards, upwards and laterally. Okay. In this specimen, this is our superior oblique muscle. As we know, superior oblique muscle form rounded tendon at the junction of roof and medial wall of eyeball. So this is its rounded tendon. It is suspended by fibrocartilaginous pulley, and after that it turns its direction and go backwards, laterally and upwards underneath levator palpebrae superioris and superior rectus muscle. This is bunch of both levator palpebrae superioris and superior rectus muscle, and see, this is insertion of it. In this specimen of right-sided eyeball, this is our levator palpebrae superioris muscle below frontal nerve. So this is our levator palpebrae superioris. As we know, this is right-sided eyeball. This is its medial margin and this is its lateral margin, and this is our lacrimal gland. Levator palpebrae superioris takes origin from the undersurface of lesser wing of sphenoid bone just above the common tendinous ring. Its origin is in form of rounded tendon. It runs forwards and form fleshy and triangular sheet. It has this medial margin and lateral margin. Medial margin of it is straight and lateral margin is somewhat concave laterally. Medial margin blends with medial palpebral ligament, and you can see here the lateral margin divides the orbital part of lacrimal gland from the palpebral part. Now insertion of levator palpebrae superioris. For insertion, levator palpebrae superioris divides into three lamella. First is superior lamella, intermediate lamella and inferior lamella. Fibers of superior lamella pierces orbital septum and they passes through slips of orbicularis oculi muscle and get inserted into upper eyelid. Some fibers of superior lamella also get inserted to anterior surface of superior tarsus. Now intermediate lamella. Intermediate lamella get inserted to upper margin of superior tarsus, and that intermediate lamella is known as superior tarsal muscle. So our unstripped superior tarsal muscle is intermediate lamella itself. Third one is lower lamella. Lower lamella of this muscle get inserted into superior fornix of conjunctiva. Okay, so this was insertion of it. Now nerve supply. We have already seen nerve supply is by oculomotor nerve from the upper division. This upper division of oculomotor nerve supply this levator palpebrae superioris muscle after innervating superior rectus muscle. And that's why this levator palpebrae superioris muscle can be called as delaminated part of superior rectus muscle. Okay. Now action. We know name suggests levator. It elevates the upper eyelid. So that was about levator palpebrae superioris muscle. We have discussed all voluntary extraocular muscles. Coming to involuntary extraocular muscles. They are superior tarsal, inferior tarsal and orbitalis. These muscles are supplied by postganglionic sympathetic fibers from superior cervical sympathetic ganglion. Now, in orbit, we have discussed first of all periorbita, then extraocular muscles. Both groups voluntary and involuntary. Here we can see voluntary muscles which are levator palpebrae superioris, then superior rectus, superior oblique muscle, medial rectus muscle, then lateral rectus, inferior rectus muscle and inferior oblique muscle. Coming to nerves. Nerves are, this is our optic nerve, then we have oculomotor nerve with ciliary ganglion, then trochlear nerve which is going to the superior oblique muscle, then our abducent nerve which is supplying lateral rectus muscle, then frontal, lacrimal and nasociliary nerve. This frontal, lacrimal and nasociliary are branches of ophthalmic nerve and sympathetic nerves. In vessels, ophthalmic artery and superior and inferior ophthalmic veins. We have seen the lacrimal glands and fat.